Now, everybody knows what Angkor Wat looks like. Some people may not have seen it in this type of context before, though, so I'm showing it here to show that the temple pillars at Angkor Wat are actually very similar to pine cones. And the pine cone being related to the mushroom, to the Amanita muscaria mushroom, the pine cones are probably the source of, the pine tree is probably the tree of life, and the mushroom itself is the tree of knowledge. So, there were two trees in the garden, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. And the Pope in the Vatican seems to recognize what's going on. It seems to be the common people that don't really get it. But the Vatican has this right in the middle of the court of the Pigna, and here's a couple peacocks also flanking it on each side. The peacocks probably represent the mushroom because, number one, they're a bird, and when they take up their tail, it has a round shape and it's very colorful, and the peacock may have come to symbolize the mushroom. The peacock was a favorite symbol or bird of Hera, Zeus's wife. And here's a couple reliefs of the Apkallu taking the pine cones from the tree of life. And like I said, pine cones are related to the mushroom. So it doesn't have anything to do with the pineal gland necessarily. We don't even know absolutely that the pineal gland is where DMT is produced. So it was speculated that certain things go on in the pineal gland for a long, long time, and they could be talking about melatonin in that sense. So the pine cone itself is actually where the idea of the mushroom connects to the Apkallu and the seven sages. This is the first of our images from India, and we see Shiva here, and Shiva is depicted standing with a single foot right here on his bull Nandi, and that's his bull down here. And Shiva has his favorite bull right there, Nandi, and that makes sense because Shiva's a mushroom deity, and he's growing up out of that bull in a sense. And on top of his head right here, Shiva has a mushroom very clearly. Here we see Shiva's bull Nandi, and the Nandi is here licking a lingam. In India, they say that this is a phallic symbol. That's what they tell us, and I guess we can see. The bull licking this phallic symbol, that doesn't make a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense if you see that the lingam here represents the mushroom. If you turn it upside down right here, there's your mushroom cap and there's your stem right there. There's the cap right there. So there is mushroom symbolism in this right here. The lingam is not a phallic symbol. It may have been turned into a phallic symbol at some point later on, but it was never originally a phallic symbol. It was a symbol for the mushroom. Here's a very obvious one. This is Ram Avarata from 1000 to 1100 AD from the temple Gujarat in India. This is a mushroom right here, and I don't know that you could really make it any more obvious than that. Now we're going to look at some Indian coins, and these coins in particular are called punch mark coins, and they didn't have a shape yet, and these were some of the oldest coins ever made that are known to be coins, and they're from 650 to 600 BC, and on each of these, the examples that I have here, you can see the mushrooms. In this case, the mushrooms are right here. In this case, the mushrooms right here, right here, right here. And in a couple of these coins, you actually see bulls along with the mushrooms, which is really cool. There's a bull right here, and there's a couple mushrooms right here, and there. And on this one too, there's a bull right there. There's the horns of the bull, and there's mushrooms. There's 1, 2, 3 right there. So these are the oldest coins in the world, and they have bulls and mushrooms on them. I really like this one. This is the finest example I've been able to find of this particular coin, and especially the cut is very good too. So here's Ashi, and she's holding the cornucopia or the mushroom in her hand. And in this case, she just doesn't just have mushrooms in her hands. It looks like her hands are actually made out of mushrooms right here. Pinheads right here, and mushrooms forming right here, right coming out of her hand. On the other side, a couple what look like they could be pinheads right here coming out. There's the trident that he's holding, and he's got his wizard cloak and his wizard hat right here. And yeah, so what this is this is the what became the statue of Liberty. So this is Lady Liberty, or the goddess Liberty, and she's holding the torch of enlightenment. So why do they call it the torch of enlightenment? Because that's the mushroom. It's not just a torch. It's not just a torch of fire. It's not just a torch of light. It's a torch of enlightenment. Here's another Indo-Sasanian coin from the same era, same time period, 1210 to 1300 AD. And in this case, we see what looks even more like a mushroom right here. And these just look like spores or pinheads all around. I mean, is it just a coincidence that that's on the coins, or, and it looks so much like mushrooms, and we've seen the mushrooms everywhere else on all these other coins and artifacts? This is called the Miracle at Sravasti from Tepe Narenj near Kabul from the 5th to the 6th century. And this is the Buddha sitting here being blessed, it appears, by a couple of angels. And the angels are blessing the Buddha with a couple scepters. And the scepters in this case look a lot like mushrooms. The scepter similar to the mace that's held sometimes in by Persian kings, or the crown. Some of these different things are all symbols for the mushroom. They're all symbols for royalty. And here's an image of the Buddha from Thailand in a cobra. And the cobra head right here, the cobra hood is the cap of the mushroom. The cobra hood inside makes up the veil. And here's the stem. It's just the serpent symbolism. Sometimes it's a little bit more simple. Sometimes it's a little more obvious. But when you understand the serpent is a symbol for the mushroom, the cobra is a very good example because of the wide hood. So that's why the Buddha is symbolized inside of the hood of the cobra. The Buddhists were probably taking after the early Minoan culture. In the early Minoan culture, it was more of a tribal culture, and everybody believed it was matriarchal, matrilineal, and it was group shared consciousness. So there were no priests and shamans that held the secrets of the plant knowledge separate from the people. Everybody shared the knowledge, and it was believed that these secrets of the mushroom were to be shared with everybody. So I think we see some of that also in the Buddhist and Jain culture, because they didn't make very big attempts to hide it. It was more of a feminine-based culture and religious, spiritual understanding. And right here you see the mushroom on top of the headdress right here. There's the ridging right there of the underside of the cap. It's very much a mushroom right there on the headdress. Another one right here. These are the heads of the Bodhisattva. This is from Gandhara from 200 to 300 AD. Now here's just a little more confirmation. This is a Han Dynasty granary jar with a dragon. It's a mushroom goddess, actually. It's a serpent goddess, guardian from 200 BC to 200 AD. And it's the similar granary vessel right here. It has the mushroom cap with the gills right here like we saw in the other one. But the guardian down here, this little goddess here, she's a serpent goddess, and around her head right here is all the ridging that we've seen before, just like all along the mushroom cap. So that's another clue right there that's what we're looking at, is mushroom symbolism on the serpent deity on this Asian granary vessel. Now this is a Wadjet symbol. It's similar to the Eye of Horus, but it's a little bit different. And this is from 332 to 30 BC. This one's gold and this one's faience. And right here, what you see is the eye. And the eye is right here is the cap of the mushroom. That's the cap right there. And the eye is in the cap. And there's your stem. There's your base of the mushroom right there. And there's the eye. So this is a better image than the Eye of Horus when you want to actually see mushroom symbolism directly. Now here's an image that shows examples of what I've been talking about with the waxing and the waning phase of the mushroom. This is the waxing phase of the mushroom right here when it's first growing, and it looks like an upside down bowl, and the wings are down. Wings are down in each one of these situations. Over here, this is the waning phase when the mushroom's about to start to die, when it begins to decay. And these are the wings up. So right here we see wings up. On the Apkalu right here, they have wings that both go up and down. And over here we see wings up, again over here, like we just saw on the sarcophagus. This is a Roman mosaic depicting Isis and Serapis from 300 to 400 AD. Serapis right here has what's called a motifs above his head. That's what they call this when there's a mushroom on top of their head. I'm not exactly sure how they explain it away or why they say that these people have motifs on top of their heads, but he has a mushroom on top of his head, and the cornucopia right here also looks like a mushroom, has a very distinctive mushroom shape. There's also a pillar in the back right here that has a bit of a mushroom shape, but you can't really see it very well. Here Isis has a ring, a halo, glory halo around her head as well. This is from the Dendera temple as well, from 100 AD, and this is very interesting because what we see is the bird symbolism with the wings right here on a serpent. So if that isn't the mushroom symbolism, then I don't know what is. Now, Khepri is a dung beetle in the Egyptian pantheon. And why is a dung beetle worshipped in Egypt? Well, okay, so the dung beetle right here has ridging all around right here. So we see the mushroom cap ridging all the way around. That's a sign right there. That's one of the clues. Right here, the red part, this circle right here, is the cap of a mushroom. So the stem is this part right here. And there's a couple monkey, it looks like monkey deities one on each side. There's a winged orb up above. And what is the winged orb? Well, one of the things we've seen is it could be a flying ship, a UFO of some sort. That's one possibility. I think it may be the symbolism may have changed also from maybe Akkad and Babylon into Egypt maybe. So what we don't really see much of the dung symbolism in the ancient world in Babylon and Akkad, but we start to see more of the dung symbolism in Egypt. So here's a comparison image of Khepri from Egypt, and over here Khepri has wings and Khepri is rolling the orb, the ball. Now they say that Khepri rolls the sun across the heavens. That's what he's rolling, the sun across the heavens. That's what I've read is the explanation. Well, that's just ridiculous. Khepri rolls dung balls, and mushrooms grow from those dung balls. So here's one of Khepri's brothers pushing his dung ball. Here are a couple serpent deities in Egypt pushing the dung ball or worshiping the dung ball. And here's Khepri, and here's the dung ball in Khepri's grip right here, and Khepri has the wings right here. So all of this is just symbolism of, they're giving Khepri the bird attributes as bringing the mushroom, and Khepri rolls the dung ball, and it's just all mushroom symbolism. Now, who is Hathor? Hathor is a cow goddess, and this is a version of Hathor from the Egyptian Museum. And Hathor has horns, of course, as she would as a bull or a cow goddess. And there's the orb above her head, which could be the cap of the mushroom or the bull dung. So, Hathor is a good example of, the idea that there was a cow goddess in the sky, and that's why we call it the Milky Way. And the ancient people believed that the milk was the rain that was coming down and fertilizing the earth, and it was the cow goddess's milk, and that's part of the mythology of the ancient world.